everybody. It's a great day in Clarkston. Let's go check it out. Bye now. I will. It's a great day.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's a Good Day When. I'm your host, LaVon Upton, and today it's a good day when your local library doors are open. Today, our guest is Julie Meredith. She's the library director, and we're here with her at the Clarkston Independence District Library. Julie, I understand you're born and raised in Clarkston, is that right?
I am. This is my hometown, and this is the library that I grew up in.
So you're back here as the director now.
I am.
Julie, the library was one of the first places I came to when I moved back from California into Clarkston. And I came here, I volunteered to help sell the books, used books. I brought my grandsons here for the movies. I took a couple of classes here, the Word class, Excel, and PowerPoint. And I think this, for me, the place was a place to hang out and a social hub when I first moved back. I even used the computers till my computers were set up. Today we want to talk about the millage that the Clarkston Independence Library is seeking. And hopefully we can simplify issues about the millage that's on the ballot August 5th and state the importance of their vote. Julie, what are the facts that we need to know?
Well, the first fact that is really important is to understand that the library does have a millage on the ballot on August 5th, and the rate is 1.25 mils.
And I think the key word here is replacement millage, right?
Yes, it is a replacement millage. It will replace all of the current library funding in both the city of the Village of Clarkston and the Charter Township of Independence. And the rate is 1.25 mils, which is equal to $1.25 per $1,000 of taxable value on all the taxable property in Independence Township and the city of the Village of Clarkston.
It's currently 0.691, is that correct?
Yes, the library's millage rate has been at 0.75 mils or less since the library was established in 1965, and it is right now at 0.691 mils.
And what does this replacement millage mean to the average homeowner?
For a homeowner that has a property value of a market value of approximately $200,000, that would be $125 per year, or an increase of about $56, which comes out to be about $5 per month.
So it's only $5 increase and about $56 a year.
Per year. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me, Julie, how the millage funds will be spent?
Well, we're looking at a number of things we'd like to do. We would like to obviously restore the library's hours. We need to replace outdated public computers. We want to expand programming for all ages to promote lifelong learning. We want to promote resources to help local businesses succeed. And then we really need to have a capital improvement plan for the care and maintenance of a 22-year-old building.
What are some of the resources you have for local businesses?
We've got a lot of really interesting things. We have some fabulous databases that can help businesses use the demographics to locate clientele, to see who their competitors are. We've got some resources in terms of how to develop business plans and how to do marketing. We have resources that are both print and electronic, and a lot of our electronic, and of course our electronic resources are available 24/7. So you can get to them from the library's website. There are a lot of really valuable things on the internet, but not everything that's valuable is free. And we do subscribe to a lot of things that businesses would find very useful and that they can get to around the clock with their library card.
That they couldn't get otherwise on their own.
Exactly.
I see.
Or that they would pay a lot to have access to on their own. Mhm.
I see. So do the local businesses use this resource?
They do, and we are actually planning to do a presentation with some of the businesses through the Chamber of Commerce. We do coordinate and collaborate with the Chamber of Commerce so that we can do some training for these businesses, how to use these resources so they're getting the best bang for their buck on that.
Do most people know about it? Do the businesses know about that?
They're starting to find out about it, and I think some of them are really excited that they're just things that they didn't realize that they had access to, things that as business owners they might look at and say, I would like to have access to that, but it's expensive and I can't afford it on my own. But the idea of a library is that everybody contributes a little bit so that all of the resources are available to everyone.
Very great. Well, what are some of the ways of continued learning when you said you offer continued lifelong learning?
One of the really important things about a library is that, especially for adults, once you get past formal education, you may be looking for ways to keep learning throughout your life. So we do offer classes and programs. As you mentioned in the beginning, you talked about the computer classes. We offer Word and Excel. We also offer basic computer skills, how to set up an email account. Outsmarting your smartphone is one of the classes we've offered. We've offered things on investing. This summer we've got a golf pro coming in to give golfing tips. Just a wide variety of things that whatever people are interested in, we do try to cater to that. In addition, if you, we're not a huge library, but we have access to materials from all over the state of Michigan. Both academic level libraries and large public libraries. So we can get just about anything you need and have it delivered here within just a couple of days. The beauty of that service is that you can log in from home using your library card and request those materials, and they get delivered right to the library, and you can pick them up here and then we return them, and that's all included in library service.
Julie, what will the community gain?
Well, our library's mission statement is our community's cornerstone of lifelong learning through education, innovation, and enrichment. And so really what we're looking at is improving technology here so that people have access, as you said, to more computer classes and to things that will help them technologically and in the 21st century. Education, obviously, we support the curriculum within the school district, and we give students a place to study and a place to work on projects, and also we allow for them to be able to use other libraries, such as Oakland University, when they're learning how to use academic libraries, which are a little bit different than using public libraries. And then obviously enrichment. The library really is a service for the community, and it is about the quality of life within the community as well.
What are some of the statistics on how the library is used now? I'm sure you have some records about how many people come in and circulation and so forth. Can you give me some of that?
Absolutely. We circulate about 263,000 items a year. In addition, about 17,800 items are electronic, downloadable ebooks and downloadable audiobooks. About 5,200 books come through the Michigan Interlibrary Loan System that I was telling you about, that come from other libraries, academic and public, that we share with our community. We answer about 13,000 reference questions a year, so if you try to do a search on Google and you don't find the answer, you call us up. There's a quote from a famous author, Google will get you 10,000 answers, but the librarian will get you the right one.
I like that.
And then, of course, about 23,000, almost 24,000 computer and wireless users in our building every year, about 4,500 program attendees, and about 135,000 visitors come to our building every year.
Very good. How do we compare to the neighboring libraries as far as the millage rate and the spending per resident? I'm looking here, and it looks like for Clarkston, it's only $29.20 at the current rate.
It is. With our millage rate being 0.691, that is lower than what surrounding libraries have. The Springfield Township Library has a millage rate of 0.9173, and so they're spending about $44.58 per resident. The Brandon Library actually has 2 full mills, and they're spending about $60, almost $61 per resident. The Orion Township Library, which in terms of size, is similar in size to Independence Township. They have nearly the same number of residents. We have 35,563, and they have 35,394. They have a millage rate of 1.4, and they're spending $68.74 per resident. So with 0.691, we're spending about $29.20 per resident.
So some of them look like they're almost double.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the replacement millage at 1.25, it still would be less than most libraries around here at $50, right?
It would take it to about $50.44 per resident. And people are asking, how did we get to this millage rate? When we were in the process of reestablishing the library, we did focus groups, we did surveys, we talked to the community to find out what their expectations were for library service. And we do hear from the community quite frequently, well, these other libraries are doing these kinds of things, why aren't you doing those kinds of things? So we tried to take into consideration what people wanted, and we tried to come up with a millage rate that we thought would allow for us to have a budget to provide the services that fit the expectations of the residents.
What are some of the services that other libraries offer that we don't, that you hope to include? Some of the things you already mentioned, or?
Absolutely. First and foremost, we'd like to expand the hours. We have a lot of people saying we're not open enough hours. Absolutely, we need to update our technology, adding some additional software. There's some software packages that the school uses that the students need access to for doing homework. We would like to be able to add those to our computers, but we need to be able to afford to do that. Other kinds of things, we'd like to expand our lifelong learning offerings. More cultural sorts of things that are educational. We do from time to time bring in musical performances, and libraries really are about being at some level a community center about lifelong learning, but also just a variety of things that people want to be able to do. So
that's how I think of the library, as being a community center too.
Yeah.
Well, what happens, Julie, if the millage fails?
Well, according to the district library agreement, if the millage fails, the library no longer has funding. Our funding is actually set to expire, which is why this millage is actually on the ballot. And the district library would dissolve. So what that means is that the library would close on August 10th of 2014. And the agreements by which our residents may use neighboring libraries freely would also dissolve. So the library would be without library service.
What is that agreement, the district library agreement, when you refer to that?
Well,
is that the dead law that you?
It is. It is part of a legal issue that our library ran up against. All libraries have to be established under Michigan library law, and there are several laws that can be chosen. The law that our library was originally established under was repealed, and so we were in a position where we needed to reestablish under a current and valid law. We have gone through that process. It's taken us about 3 years to get through it. What we did was we brought the Charter Township of Independence and the City of the Village of Clarkston together for the creation of establishing a library. And so we created a district library agreement, and the people that were included in that were officials from both municipalities, as well as residents from both municipalities, and then, of course, representation from the library itself. We had an attorney hammer out the agreement and decide how it should be written, and everyone was in agreement, and a millage rate was decided upon by the two municipalities, and that was put into the agreement as well. So we're asking for the millage rate that was dictated within that agreement.
It sounds complicated.
It is a little bit. Legally, it is a little complicated, yeah.
Well, at this point, let me just ask you what the Sashaba Road Corridor Improvement Authority is, because that's a little...
It's a little confusing as well. By law, a small amount, which is 0.3% of the library's millage, is captured by the Sashaba Road Corridor Improvement Authority. The thing that people really need to understand about that is that that money is only captured from the properties that are in the Sashaba Road Corridor, the district that's defined by that. So that's mostly commercial and industrial properties that are along Sashaba Road, between Clarkston Road and Maybe Road. And the amount that's captured is less than $6,000 per year. But by law, it does need to be in the ballot language so that people understand that there is a small portion of money that is being deferred. And the purpose is for improvements along that corridor.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds complicated, but I was trying to kind of restate it. Does it really just mean that that small area, that corridor, is exempt from the millage?
Well, it's not exactly that it's exempt, but that part of the taxes that they are contributing to service, a very small portion, is being utilized to make some improvements along that road, with the idea being that it would raise the property values in that area.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, when the village passes, will that fix this outdated law?
It will. Actually, putting this millage on the ballot is the final step in the reestablishment process.
So what is the bottom line?
Well, I think the bottom line really goes back to the library's mission, our community's cornerstone of lifelong learning through education, innovation, and enrichment. It really is about community and quality of life and service to the public.
And I understand that there are a couple of awareness committees that help people understand this millage, and one of them is Geek the Library Committee. When and where do I vote on August 5th?
Well, obviously, the township clerk and the city clerk have sent out information about what your precinct is, so you'll know that from your voter registration card. But on August 5th, you'll go to your precinct to vote. Or if you want an absentee ballot, you can contact the clerk's office in the municipality in which you live, and you can sign up to do that.
Okay. And if there are further questions about the millage, may they contact you, Julie?
Oh, absolutely. You can reach me at the library. My number is 248-625-2212. You can email me at juliem@indelib.org.
Thank you, Julie. Julie, I have something for you.
Oh, wonderful.
I've written a book, so I'd like to donate it to the library.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We're always
Okay.
looking for good information and books to add to our collection. We really appreciate that. Thank you so very
This
much.
one's about Parkinson's disease, and it's called Behind the Mask of Parkinson's. And I just published it a few months ago. So as a last-minute thought, I thought I'd present
Oh,
that
I
to
really
you.
appreciate that.
And
Thank
I
you
hope
so
the
much.
doors are open on August 11th so that I'll find it on the shelves.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, and let's go out and make it a good day.